Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're discussing now in our topic the latest developments in Gaza Strip. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, His Excellency Ambassador Raouf Saad, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Good morning, ma'am.
Well, Your Excellency, recently Israel have announced the reoccupation of Gaza Strip. Could you give us an idea about this step, and can we say that this step comes in retaliation of France going in September to recognize the Palestinian state in addition to other European countries also?
Well, I think we have to speak, in a very clear and transparent manner. We are confronting the whole world, not only we. The whole world is confronting a historical point, and we are racing against time, because we are confronted with a vicious, insane agenda of the Prime Minister of Egypt, of Israel, in order to implement his own plan, either to stay in power as long as he can, or to attain a kind of insane ideological agenda that will never take place. So I think now what we are facing now, and the whole world is facing now, is not, no matter how important are the developments, how important are the rejections, the interest of the world in order to contain and frustrate this kind of plan, I think we have reached the point that the only alternative that we have is action. And the action is not that you declare war or here or that. No, I think the international community is historically responsible for taking an action. It's true that the rejection from different quarters of the world is growing, including, the Western world, including even the Jews themselves. If you just look at what's happening in New York, for example, the Jews are supporting a Muslim candidate for the senator for Zohran, Senator Zohran for the mayorship of New York. So there is the several factors that would put this situation in a point of action, that sanctions have to be applied, whether internationally through the United Nations, even if the Security Council fails to do that due to the American veto. But we have the Union for Peace and the General Assembly. We have bilateral, actions by different countries, and of course we are. It's quite positive that we are seeing that more and more countries intend to recognize that the state of Israel,
Yes.
and that the next coming to the General Assembly. This is one side. The other side, let's be frank with ourselves. Well, the Arab countries and the Arab world is quite responsible. And when we talk about the Arab world, we should don't talk only about the governments. We should talk about the people, the Arab people. If they have been silent, that doesn't mean that they are not angry. They are furious, and this kind could be reflected, at the one point of time, in a different manner. But on the Arab side, we have two major factors. One, we need one Palestinian front. You cannot continue, this kind of internal conflict between two sides of the Palestinians, and that would weaken very much the issue. Let's be frank with ourselves. Second is that the Arab world has the power, and but it's uninvested, unused, adequately in order to force, the Israeli government in order to change its plans. This government is going into an insane, uncontained conduct, and as I always say, it is it's not only a rogue country, but it is a group of fundamentalists. That they are going through plans that has blinded them from all real facts of the world. So this is where is the situation. I hope that this moment, historical moment, because history will record this moment as a crucial moment, that before they get into their plan, right, these developments have to be arrested, and the only way to arrest them is action.
Yes, Your Excellency, also how do you see the role played by Egypt mediating as a mediator in looking for an important solution for the Palestinian question, especially the war in Gaza, in order to reach to an agreement of a ceasefire?
Ma'am, may I differ with you in a civilized manner? All right. It's becoming a common mistake that we qualify Egypt's role as a mediator. Egypt is not a mediator. Why? A mediator should be neutral. Egypt is not neutral. Egypt is in full full-hearted support of the Palestinian case for its own national security and for the case of the Palestinian case itself.
Yes.
So, and a mediator should not be involved, should not be party to the conflict. Egypt is a principal party to the conflict in a way of its responsibility for the security, its security and the security of the whole region. So Egypt is playing, and here I think without being too, I'm not a fan of making compliments, but I think we have to put it on record that history, as much as will remember and record, the situation of the international community.
Yes.
That as the history would record the Egyptian conduct over the past 3 years. These 3 years will go into history as something, that is a rare model of how you manage the crisis and govern the crisis, because Egypt has been subjected and continue to be subjected to diverse challenges, that would affect its security internally, regionally, externally, internationally, and affect even if its interests, right? And meanwhile, they have been, subject to different offers. For example, that they tempting in order to let Egypt withdraw from the conflict in a very cheap manner, right? And meanwhile, the challenges have put Egypt into a point of confrontation and maybe lead and push for much more serious action on the land, right? I mean, in the field itself, they have been provoked and by different ways, whether positively or negatively, but Egypt maintained that, and one should ask, the people should ask themselves why Egypt has maintained this kind of position. What is, the political leadership of Egypt is concerned primarily with Egypt, right?
Yes.
And everything is being done in favor of Egypt for the Egyptian citizen, and they have to keep the Egyptian interest as the absolute priority.
Yes.
Second is that Egypt, with the kind of responsibility that holds regarding the Palestinian issue, for two aspects, as I said, for the Palestinians themselves and for the Egyptian security, had to maintain this kind of a very accurate balance, in order to maintain its sovereignty, protect the Palestinian issues, protect the internal stable, solid situation inside Egypt. Meanwhile, Egypt is and let me underline this, Egypt is the only country in the region, and maybe in the world, that can run negotiations with all parties, including Israel. I mean, no other country can do that on its own. In other words, there are other roles, of course, and we respect that. But no country can undertake this mission individually, except Egypt, because Egypt, first, it's the border country to the conflict, but more than that, Egypt is a big country, is a strong country, is supported and equipped with experience, with a vision of how to make in the Middle East a different peaceful region. So we are, as I said, we are going through a very, very, very challenging situation, but we maintain that without too much statements or political impulsiveness, as I say, all right? But we are maintaining that with patience, wisdom, depth of action,
yes.
without resorting too much to publicity. I mean, it's not a country, we are a big country, we don't need a kind of publicity or not even a defense.
Yes.
And I have a kind of concern that sometimes in our media, with all due respect, they get provoked to the actions being taken by a satanic alliance between the Muslim brothers and the Israelis fundamentalists. We need not to get into a defense. We need just to explain to the Egyptian citizen what is going on, but we need not. I mean, because this is a very, very cheap agenda. We should not go down to that level.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Saad, how is Egypt making benefit of its good diplomatic relations with foreign countries in order to be able to solve the Palestinian question, and especially the situation in Gaza?
Well, as I said, Egypt, the way it's running its foreign policy, I think we should admit, we should acknowledge that, this growing isolation Israel is suffering from is even partly is a result of the Egyptian continuous efforts with all countries. And I mean, we are talking by results. I mean, had Egypt not undertaken, this kind of very wise conduct of managing and governing the crisis, we would have not got the unprecedented results, that for the alliances of Israel, I mean, in Europe, I mean, and their declared intention that they will recognize the Palestinian state is not. It is a result. It is an output of continuous efforts over the past 3 years, due to the savage, conduct of the Israeli. They are not. I mean, I cannot qualify them even as a government, but and as well as running, the situation in a way that you would bring the outsiders who used to have a blind support for Israel to see the facts in real life.
Yes, I thank you very much. Yes, unfortunately we're running out of time. I thank you very much for your time, Your Excellency, Ambassador Raouf Saad, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. We really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. A short break, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be back with you.